I'm Anne, and I give general love readings focusing on divine partners, and that includes all soulmates, twin flames, twin rays, karmic connections, anybody that is connected to you in a spiritual sense. This reading video is a message that's not given from me, but from the divine messages we get all the time, and I invite you to stay and watch from this from beginning to end to get the message. Sometimes it may resonate with you, and sometimes some of the things may not. So just take what does and use for your highest good. Okay, so now that we're in the middle of June, it's a good time for new changes, new beginnings. It's a good time for just getting out there and embracing summer. I mean, we love summer. I know it comes by so fast and it goes by so fast. So I hope that you're taking time out. I wanted to take this video outdoors, but it was a little on the warmer side. And, you know, it's not like I don't want to keep it outside. I love to record outside, but sometimes it makes it impossible for me when there's a lot of kids in the back of my in the back of my park. There's a park behind my yard. I'm losing my words, and it just distracts me. So I tried and it just didn't work out. So maybe next week we'll try it. Maybe if I go out a little bit earlier. But anyways, I pulled out 2 different decks, and for the Divine Masculine we got Beginnings, the first 2 cards, and Clarity. Beginnings start with a change, and in order for this beginning to happen, you have to embrace change. Divine Masculines are starting to see it for what it is, though they don't know what to expect, but there is something with an energy that they are starting to open themselves. Like we've been seeing in the previous readings, they've been releasing a lot of release, a lot of surrender. But you know what? Whenever they release and surrender, there's always something that's going to be replenished, something that's going to happen, something that's exciting. I mean, Divine Masculines have been going through this transformation, and you know what? This transformation has been pretty intense, I have to say. You may be leaning towards more of a Divine Masculine, or your partner may be leaning towards Divine Masculine, but there's been a lot of energy purging with Divine Masculines, and now that they're starting to realize the different cycles that they're going through in their life, they have to take note that what they're going through is not necessarily something that's going to hurt them, but it's actually going to bring them to the place where they feel more comfort. Now, getting clarity, as this card says on the bottom, I'll just read it to you. Banish the fog of illusion. Open your eyes to the truth. Remember the perfection of who you are. Okay. And this is true when it comes to just letting go of that. Well, it is a fog. But a lot of times it's clutter. You know, it's kind of like you've put that veil up, and that veil is just like masking out what you should be looking at. Divine Masculines is a time for change and getting in tune with what their soul center wants them to change with. When you're involved with a relationship and this person just doesn't get you, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean that they're so wrong for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you should get out of that relationship, but maybe they need a break. Maybe they need to realize what they want in their life, because a lot of times we see the energy where you're not letting go. You're not seeing the true factor of what's happening in your relationship. Maybe you both are not ready for anything more than what's on the surface, and we see this a lot when 2 people are trying too hard. Though they love each other, and though they're connected, and though there is so much more that they're putting into the relationship, they're putting into, I want this to happen, I want this to manifest to my highest good. But they're not looking at what is necessary for them to do this. Believe, as this card says, believe, having the faith. The best is yet to come. It's written on the card. I love that. I love that little song too. The best is yet to come, Frank Sinatra. But yeah, believe in who you are, because there's definitely something about to blossom. You know, like I said, it's starting over again. Beginnings, getting the clutter out of the way, getting all that negativity out of the way, that the stuff that you've been holding on to. It's kind of like it's accumulating. It really is. When you accumulate, you can't see the light. You can't see the light that's being shined upon you. Like, you see how bright my room is. I got obviously a window, but I got some lights as well. And it is bright. But then there's a time when things get dark and dim. And you know what? When it's dark and dim, you can't see. You really can't. You really have a completely different outlook on the situation. So take that out. Don't compare your situation with, oh, it's happening all over again. I'm getting what I did prior years or in a previous relationship. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to meet that person. You know, whatever you're going through, it's going to happen, but you have to believe. Believe inside yourself. Reconciliation. Remember the source of love. A loving action is all you need to begin the process. Reach out with a simple first step. And you know what? That's important right now. Important in order to reconcile. Maybe reconciling is not just necessarily with that person. Maybe it's with yourself. Maybe there's something inside of your heart that you're not looking at. And when you're not looking at what your heart is telling you, your heart says you need to start over again. You need to start focusing on you. You need to start looking at, you know, what you want. You're not bringing back the new again. You're not bringing back that soul center to bond, okay? Divine masculines have been running. Divine masculines don't see this. Divine masculines, when they do tend to run from themselves, and it could happen with divine feminines, so I'm not stereotyping it that it's just the divine masculines that run, because believe me, divine feminines do run as well. But when you're running, because it's in the divine masculine side, you're running from something inside yourself. It's time to come back. It's time to become balanced, become grounded, become rooted. Root yourself to what you truly believe in. Believe, and you will reconcile. Maybe it's reconciling with that person, okay? Reconciling, not everybody is reconciling, because this is like a big, big word. Maybe they will, maybe they won't right now. But whatever the case is, reconciling first with yourself to get that clarity, to see this reconciliation. I'm not saying it right. Reconciliation. Okay, my bad. I'm just losing my words today. So excuse me, guys, for my mispronunciations. Okay. Believe in yourself. Believe in that it's going to happen. It's going to unite. You're going to unite. Maybe it is with your divine partner. Maybe you two have been trying to patch things up. This takes time. You know, if you're working on this relationship, okay, working on a relationship to make sure things go right, that doesn't necessarily mean like you're answering them and doing whatever they want and pleasing them. No, there's a part of you that needs that too. Look at what the bigger picture is. You need more out of this relationship as well. It's not just one-sided. It's not just I need to nourish them and give to them. No, because there's a part of you that's crying out. This is when problems happen. When you're reconciling, I'm losing my words. When you're reconciling, okay, it's a two-way street. Remember that. If it's not a two-way street and it's all you, then that's not called reconciling. That's called you're putting too much effort. You need to take a step back, because you need to believe in yourself first of all. Like I said, you need to come together with that. Maybe they need to believe in themselves as well. Maybe this is a card for both of you, not just necessarily divine masculine, but divine feminines are coming close to it as well. So divine feminines see this. They're healing. You know, this was before too. We saw healing. It's a healing, an energy, a feeling, and as you can see, it's part of the process. For them to see themselves in a positive situation, divine feminines can run as well. They run from the feeling of what they're feeling because they're afraid of it. Just like anybody, you know, it's like you've been through something. You've been through something very traumatic, and you did not know how to handle it. So maybe you just pushed it on the rug. You never really healed from it. Maybe you're still carrying on, you know, a feeling like this healing is never going to happen because I just can't deal with it right now. I'm just going to push it aside. No, you need to heal with it, with your inner strength. You have the courage. You can endure. Find your center and spiral into your power. Yeah. Because when you do this, you find that strength inside your spirit. And I love this card. It's got a polar bear, reminds me of my bears. Healing involves a lot of energy from within. And you know what? Working on yourself. We talk about this with both divine masculine and divine feminines. Working on yourself, not feeling sorry for yourself, but gaining that strength. Saying, I need to relax. I need to take it down a notch and focus on what my inner guide is telling me. Because your guides are talking to you, not just coming from a video similar to this one or any other video, but they're talking to you from within. Listen to them. Listen to them. You heard a little ringer thing. It's a confirmation. You have to try not to focus on what other people tell you, because sometimes people kind of like nudge you in a sense that they say, oh, I think you should do this, or I think you should try this. I mean, suggestions. I'm welcome to suggestions. I'm welcome to recommendations. I'm a guinea pig. I love to try anything. I'm just like that. But when you forget who you are in the midst of it and you need other people to keep telling you, well, then you're not really putting that strength out. And I try to encourage this with people, with my clients as well, because, you know, I love to talk to people and I love to help them and I love to give guidance as much as I can. But I can't allow myself to be the crutch sometimes because they are not healing, because that's not healing. I want to help people, but I want to help them help themselves. It's kind of like going, you know, when you go to a personal trainer, you know, you're working out and you need somebody to tell you how to do this, how to use the machines, how to build muscle, how to, you know, burn fat or get a six-pack. You know, we all like that. If you're not following along and you're just listening and you're just doing exactly what they're doing day after day, you're not focusing on what you need to do for yourself. They give you homework, so to speak. Okay, they give you need to eat this and you need to eat this and no, I need you to fix me the food. I need you to fix it for me. You need to come to my house. Kind of like that kind of concept is not going to help you because you're not gaining what they're giving you. You got what I'm saying? It's about believing in yourself to heal from all of this, because you have to have the strength. You have to have the strength, like I just illustrated with physical training, personal training, but also with spiritual training, spiritual endurance. You know, it's a workout, seriously. When you meditate, you rise up, you kind of like align yourself to a higher self. And when you rise up to a higher self, you raise your vibration. You feel so much better. It's kind of like when we need sleep. You know, sleep is really important. We don't get sleep, we're really groggy, we're not ourselves. Okay, that's a physical thing. It's also on a spiritual level as well. Our minds need to shut down and listen to what our spirit has to say, because we don't get in touch with that. We have our smartphones, we have this and this and this to tell us what to do, where everything is at, but we're not relying on our spirit. And that's a big factor. In order to heal, you need to hear what your spirit has to say. And your spirit has a lot to give you if you just listen. And the only way to listen is take it down a notch. Take it down a second, you know, to really reflect on yourself so that you can have that strength, so you can endure, so you can find your center and spiral into your power. That's plain and simple. I do this all the time. That helps me. No matter what type of person I am, I could be the most, you know, emotional. I could be the most, my self-esteem is not where it should be. I'm not strong. I'm not saying that I am, but I'm just telling you, no matter what type of person, I may be healing from something, whatever I'm going through. I'm just using myself as an example. I can find my inner strength if I just listen to my spirit. You know why? Because our spirits are our life force, our spirit force, and it helps us to grow. It helps us to connect with one another. We're not connecting with the physical body, you know, we're connecting spiritually with people. You ever get like, you meet someone and you go, wow, I really find that this person is fascinating. Someone else next to you says, I don't find them that fascinating, but okay. Because you've connected with them. Because there's something, it could be something spiritually inclined between you two. Or it could just be that you both get it. You know, when you two are on the same wavelength, getting on the same level, or it could be high or low or whatever, but you're feeling drawn to that person. I know I get like this with a lot of people, and you know, like I'm just like so drawn, and it could last for a certain time, but then it could just wear down. Not because I'm tired of that person, but we move on and we keep going and we keep going and we keep going, and we find ourselves with different people. That's why, if you ever notice, how come people just come and go out of my life and they're gone, and they're out of my life. This relationship, I thought I was so, you know, empowered with that person. I thought that this person was, you know, my divine soul connection, and turned out to be just someone passing through. Another reason why we don't look for specific types, because they are sent to us for a reason. So, divine feminines gaining strength, figuring it out by healing, having the faith. Without faith, you can't get through it. You can't. My life is divinely guided, as you can see. It's guided. You can see it. You feel it. Take that action. Stop hesitating. Movement creates the magic. Nothing can hold you back. Another beautiful card. And they're paired up together, that I really like having the faith with action. That's where divine feminines need to put that action. They tend to lose sometimes the faith. They tend to lose in touch with what their soul is telling them, and that's what causes them to run. Yeah, divine feminines run. I see it a lot, and you know what? When divine feminines run, they run a lot further than divine masculines can run. And you know what? It's like, it's not to say, oh, one runs more than the other, but when both are running, they're only searching for something. But runners, I'm going to say the truth, always come back. Remember that. They don't just run forever. They're running because they're trying to search, they're trying to heal, they're trying to find whatever it is. They're trying to balance, they're trying to find that inner balance. By taking the action, divine feminines now can feel more grounded, can feel more centered, because they're starting to create the movement, create the energy that they need. Instead of just staying dormant, in a sense, and at a standstill, feeling kind of like sorry for themselves, or feeling self-pity in a way where they don't feel good about themselves anymore. And you know what? It happens, could happen every day, and then you get yourself better, and then you go back. And you know what? It's a challenge, guys. It really is, because working on yourself isn't easy. That's the main reason why I do these videos, to help us all, you know, to gain power in ourselves and straighten ourselves from the messages. Messages come along. When they do, take them, write them down. I always talk about writing down whatever you can in a journal. Maybe you'll store it somewhere. Maybe you'll put it in a, you know, in a place where, you know, it's just on a bookshelf. And you know what, you're like, I wrote down all my thoughts and my feelings, and you know, the visions and everything. What do I do next? Well, you hold on to them. I've always found that when I journal stuff, when I journal my visions, basically, that's what I journal mostly, and the flashes that I get, I always see something later on. You know, it's weird, because what I saw like 2 years ago is actually starting to unfold now. You know, it's like, that's why I saw that. That's why I got that. I'm glad I wrote it down. So you can learn from it. So you can understand it. How do you understand it? By writing it down, meditating. You know, I don't have the proper guidebook to tell you on how to do this for yourself. I can only explain to you the best way that Spirit relays it to me, so I can tell you. You got what I'm saying. Just focus on your inner strength is really important to have the action in order to reconcile with yourself. When I say reconcile with yourself, come back to yourself. We lose it sometimes with ego. You know, when ego takes over, ego says, you need to do this, or I'm not taking this from nobody, and you know what, I don't want to hear anything from anyone. I'm going to do my own thing. This is it. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it get to that point. It's not your fault. It's really not your fault. It's part of being human. It's part of us finding our way, finding our path, because our path can sometimes be very similar to her path or his path. Relationships sometimes can be very, very challenging. I know, okay? I've been there too. You know, and whatever challenge you're going through, you have to hold on and have the faith. Have the faith and believe, because without it, the love that you have deep inside your heart is never going to like amplify higher. So you can't find the love. Sometimes when you go through these series of get back together, break up, reconciling, get back together, break up, reconciling, going into this pattern, you know, it's there to teach you guys both something. You both know you're meant to be together, but though she has a problem or he has a problem with me, or I have a problem with her or him, it doesn't matter. You know what? When you start working on yourself and coming back to who you are, they will come back, or they will come to their senses, so to speak. They will come to their self, that they say, I get it now. Because trust me, if you don't have the faith that they're going to come back, I mean the faith, I don't mean like I need to nudge them. I need to keep them going. I need to keep them alive in our communication. I need to keep the communication going. Otherwise, they're going to forget about me. Thinking like that means one thing. They're not really your soul partner, okay? Because if you don't have the faith that they're going to get back to you, or they're going to communicate with you, or they're going to reach out, or you're going to get back together, however the universe wants you to be back together, then that is a person that you don't have the true faith. And maybe it's better to just push it aside and focus on yourself. I'm not saying to forget about anybody. Believe me, I'm not saying that, because, you know, when we are clouded, we can't see things for what they are. We don't get the clarity, like I mentioned. But I feel like this is a direct message saying to you, stop looking at what you think you should be doing right now, what your mind keeps telling you to do, because that's just a mind, that's the ego. When you're involved with somebody, okay, this person you're involved with, I'm feeling a message here, has issues. And maybe those issues, you feel them, or you're getting them, or you don't know. Because you know what? Divine partners can send and receive energy to each other. We can feel each other, especially if you're empathic. And when you're feeling this, you go back to the place where you're saying, I don't think this is going to work out. And I think I need to take a step back. Maybe it's time for me to just move on. You know, like, these are messages that come to you, whatever they may be, or it could be the opposite. Maybe you need to hang on, having the faith. Like I said, I'm not here to confuse no one, but I do feel like a direct message that you need to keep yourself motivated, whatever that may be, on yourself, not on the person. When you're codependent, that person has to come back, or that person needs to come back, I can't live without that person, or I don't know what I'll do without that person. Yeah, that's a scary thing. I'm not saying it's not. But you're forgetting who you are. You need to come back to yourself. Regardless of whatever the situation is, regardless of whatever you're going through with that person, they need to get it right. It's a two-way street. You know, it's not just one way. If I don't nudge them, if I don't keep, you know, liking their stuff on Facebook or Instagram, or if I don't keep saying hi, you know, or just, you know, wishing them a good day or whatever, it's not necessarily meaning that this relationship is gone, you know, because you didn't do it. You know, take that mindset out. Believe in yourself, because you're healing. Divine feminines need to believe in themselves, and along with divine masculines, because there's a new beginning about to happen with both sides. Healing, faith, strength, action with divine feminines. So both sides are definitely, we've been seeing coming together. You know, it's a good thing, but there's a lot of times it's not ready yet, and it's maybe more of like, it's coming to that season, it's coming to that area where you're going to be coming back together, or finding strength to be together, because sometimes we can't be together when we're not ready. And finding the strength is something inside yourself. You need to change, they need to change, and it doesn't work out until they're both ready. Okay, so now's the time to focus on yourself, really. And I don't mean just, you know, okay, go to the gym, exercise. I'm talking about really working on yourself, working on your faults, your things that you feel like you need to get rid of. And, you know, sometimes people have a lot of anger issues, and they have a lot of jealousy, or they have a lot of like pain from something before, and, you know, fear-based energy as well. You know, we all go through it. So I can't say how to do it, but all I know is you can do it. You can just focus on what you need to do. Meditation, you know, working with crystals, working with an alignment, getting out there in nature. I love hugging a tree. I always talk about tree hugging on my social media channels, because it's really important to connect with the energy of the earth. You know, the energy of the earth, what keeps us going. I love it. Okay, so I hope this reading video resonated with you. Take what does and leave what doesn't. If you'd like to get your own personalized reading, I do offer phone, chat, and email readings. Now, the links are down below in my websites, in the description area. Also, I do have other videos that you can understand a little bit about divine partners, soulmates, twin flames. I've been doing this for a few years, so if you're just getting to know my channel, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of material there to see. Okay, so I just want to say thank you guys for all the support, all the love, and all the sharing and commenting that you've been doing with me. I love to hear your side and what you guys are going through. It's motivating. You know, we all stick together. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comments area. I can't really give out like full readings in the comments area, because it's like a more of a private thing. Like I do. You know, sometimes we'll answer a question on live when I do it, but it's more for the collective. We're not necessarily doing it one-on-one. Kind of like, you know, when we do in medical, it's like a HIPAA policy. You know, it's kind of like, I like to keep it private. I mean, I think you would too. So anyways, that's just letting you guys know, because I've been getting a lot of questions about their people's lives, and I would love to read you, but I can't do it, you know, in the comments area, if that makes sense. Okay, so until next time, God be with you all. Namaste.